Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. Fine jewelry, watches, and much more. It's family owned and operated with the largest selection of natural diamond jewelry. Today's program will consist of JC and Frank Frangie, the voice of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll get his thoughts on a little bit of everything. But Jags, the draft starts Thursday, by the way, if you've been living in La La Land. Baseball takes 2 out of 3 against Mississippi State in Stark Vegas. Softball takes 2 out of 3 against Alabama here in Gainesville. And the baseball is still alive, believe it or not. So they got a tough stretch coming ahead.
Fred.
We'll see what happens. Let's go to the Titan MR Hotline, courtesy of Comfort. Yeah. See how all our loyal listeners around the world did on JC's 5-star NBA locks.
Well, first, let me get with baseball. You mentioned the baseball team taking 2 out of 3. That was important. Yesterday, 2 5-run innings hurt Florida. They end up at 6-12 right now in the SEC after playing 2 of the arguably worst teams in the SEC the last 2 weeks. Missouri has yet to win a game in the SEC. They are 0-18. I don't know if I've ever seen a team that bad in the SEC, but having said that, Florida got what they needed. They won the series. Looking at the standings, QB, they are currently 2 games behind Kentucky and Texas A&M in the SEC. They are 3 games behind Auburn and Alabama at 9-9. And, you got the schedule maker to give you a break with the 2 teams they've just played. But now reality will set in, I'm afraid, with the Arkansas coming in. They are the second-place team in the SEC at 13-5 behind the Texas Longhorns. So Arkansas is coming into Gainesville, and this is a series that's going to tell you right now whether or not this team is capable of playing in the postseason. This series this weekend will tell you everything you need to know about whether or not the Florida Gators are a postseason baseball team, because after 18 games of a sample size, I'm going to say, unfortunately, that I don't think they are. But they could change my mind with a winning weekend against the Arkansas Razorbacks. So that's important for baseball. I think softball is under control. Winning 2 out of 3 against Alabama was important. And, listen, this is what we follow in the spring here in Gainesville. It's softball and baseball. So hopefully the baseball team can get it right, play against Arkansas. And
I think baseball just needs – I don't know how many series they have left, but they need to get to like 11 or 12 wins in the conference. That's all they need.
Okay. Well, listen, they're only 5 away, and there's still time, but I really think the reality of it's going to set in this weekend. I mean, Arkansas is a quality team that's going to likely be a top 8 seed when it's all said and done. We're going to find out. I mean, this is why you play, right? You're going to find out what you're capable of as the Hogs roll in. Texas and Arkansas are the 2 top teams in this league. We're going to see one of them this weekend.
A couple of YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Franklin says, well, Greg Smith is gone. He failed to sign his contract by the deadline. Talking about the safety who went into the portal, came back to the Gators, but now he's back in the portal. I'm not worried about it. Can't keep everybody. JLB says, JC, what did you think of the Leafs game last night?
Well, I was very impressed with the first weekend of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We've got Tampa Bay playing on Tuesday. I'll be at that game in Tampa for all listeners looking for you down there in Tampa.
JC, what jersey you wearing or sweater or whatever the hell
today, the Maple Leafs, this is a team that's been plagued by the playoffs.
I'm talking about what are you wearing to the Tampa game? Yesterday.
Okay, well, the Tampa game, I will have a Braden Point jersey. I will have my Lightning hat tomorrow night. Yes. And they're playing the Florida Panthers. This is going to be as intense and bloody as it gets in terms of the.
I think you should wear. I think you should wear that jersey and wear the Panthers hat. That way, you're
Well, I'm going to take a picture and make sure we put it up here for the loving audience. Hockey playoffs are just unbelievable. And as far as the Maple Leafs go, the JLB, who I believe is a Canadian viewer. So thank you for watching us, JLB. We love having you. The Maple Leafs are a team that will get through the first round of the playoffs. They will win their series against Ottawa, the Battle of Ontario, and move forward. They won the division this year in their division. They won their division. They don't have to deal with the Boston Bruins, and they could go very far in the Eastern Conference and potentially win the whole thing in the Eastern Conference. They're a very good team. Mitch Marner, John Tavares, Austin Matthews, William Nylander. These are world-class players. They've got the goalie with Stolarz. Watch out for the Maple Leafs. And then we have the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow night against the Florida Panthers. So I'm excited about that. In terms of the basketball, you mentioned the basketball. Houston Rockets looked awful last night. Golden State just clearly outclassed them. It's amazing how the 2 seed looks so bad relative to the 7 seed in that series. The Lakers looked just as bad as the 3 seed the night before. They were embarrassingly bad, QB. The Los Angeles Lakers, as the Minnesota Timberwolves, embarrassed them. This Anthony Edwards, who played at Georgia, is clearly one of the most unheralded best players I've ever seen in the NBA in my life.
Do you know where he plays college ball, JC?
He played for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Very good.
It's amazing to me how he is, kind of stuck up there in Minneapolis. But if he played in LA or New York or Chicago, this guy would be as big a star as there is in the NBA. He is that great of a player, and Minnesota's got him. And the Lakers looked old. They looked fat. They looked out of shape, and they are the 3 seed that could be gone in 5 games if this goes the way I think it might with Minnesota. Did not see that happen. I thought the Lakers had a little bit more to them. But LeBron is I think his days are numbered, and the Lakers look awful, just absolutely awful. So we can talk about the NBA playoffs with NHL hockey playoffs. We can talk about the fact that DJ Lagway is still our quarterback here at Florida. We can talk about the fact that the Gators have to play well against Arkansas, or else they're not going to be a playoff team. We can talk about all this stuff. Oh, golf! Yeah. Did you see the golf yesterday?
We did. I'm going to get to the golf in just a second. I'm going to read some of these texts on the Titan Mar text line. Josh from Mississippi says, "I bought the Gators football." He sent a picture of it from a thrift store in the Riverwalk area before my flight out of Jacksonville on Friday. It had a signature on it. Turns out to be the old ball coach's signature.
80 years
$12
old.
bucks for it. Yeah.
By the way,
one of those white panel balls. It's old.
Yeah, he signs everything.
I'm pretty good at signing that signature, by the way.
You really are. You are a forgery expert, QB. And by the way, happy birthday to Stephen Orr.
Yesterday, turned 80.
80 years old, this guy. He's still sharp as a tack. Doesn't scoot around as quickly as he may have in the past, of course. But, man, for 80 years old, my guy, Coach, is he's still got it kicking up the stairs. I'm really glad to see him make it to 80, of course.
Yes, indeed. This text is from – who is this from? Chris and Mayak on the Titan Mar text line says, "Tell JC he lost me $25 with the Bulls bet on the Heat."
Okay, we've been over this with the damn Bulls. All right, we got through that last week. We had a huge weekend.
But hang on, JC. On your Peaceland Dental picks, not trying to bash you here. Did you pick like the Rockets in the game or like the series? Because I think you took was it series or games?
Series. I talked about series bets the other day.
Okay, you had the Lakers and the Rockets, right?
2 bad ones, that's why I went off the handle. Is
it 3 out of 5 or
it's 4 out of 7? QB.
Okay.
I mean, good God. Do you watch anything? I mean,
no, because sometimes these dumbass first rounds they'll do 3 like in baseball.
No,
makes no sense to me.
4 out of 7.
Baseball sometimes goes 2 out of 3.
It clearly is the second season in both hockey and basketball when we get to now. It goes till June. It's going to go through June. It's just so long. This is a second season. It truly is. As for the golf, Scheffler and Henley, I think, finished higher than any of your guys.
Yeah.
So, golf is sticking in. Like I say, top 20, top 10, top 5 and winner. You stick any of those guys I give you, you're winning money. But Scheffler was in it. He was down 2 strokes, and then he hit the ball in the water, just like Brian Harman did on an easy par 5. You never, ever see these guys double bogey or, for that matter, even bogey a par 5 on tour. Par 5s are the easiest holes on tour. Mm-hmm. They never double bogey them. They never bogey them. And they did. That's what cost them. It almost cost Rory the week before. But
Yeah, so if people missed it, Justin Thomas, who hasn't won in 3 years, played really good golf and won in a playoff over Andrew Novak, who had a chance to win it in regulation on the 18th hole, hit a bad putt. Do you know where Novak played his college golf, JC?
he is a Gamecock.
No, he's not.
He's not. Okay. Well, I know he's
You
from
were
South
very
Carolina.
you thought you were right on that, didn't you?
Hey, I know he's from South Carolina.
He is. There are other schools in that town, in that city.
Let's go with the College of Charleston.
No, keep trying.
Well, I don't think it was Clemson. So
No, keep trying.
I'm going to say he went to Charleston Southern.
No, he is a Terrier.
Okay, Wofford. Yeah, I mean, it had to be one of those, right? Private schools there, Wofford Terrier. But he had a chance to win it with a putt that was extremely makeable, and he pulled it left.
Yeah.
Justin Thomas basically made that putt in the first extra hole to win. Justin Thomas, called a penalty on himself. This is why golf is one of the greatest, if not the greatest sport.
Would you have called that on yourself, JC?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But I don't know of anybody who would have.
Well, first of all,
yeah,
my eyes have gotten so bad, it's
right.
really bothering me during my golf, and I'm getting new prescription, all that stuff. But I don't know if I would have seen the ball like
move.
his.
Yeah, it cost him one stroke. The reality is that he won this tournament by one stroke. So it wouldn't have gone to extra holes if that had not been called. If he had not called it on himself, I don't think anybody saw it. Anybody would have seen it. He did it because that's how he plays the game, honestly. And so he called it on himself, but it did not cost him the tournament, and he ends up winning. Perhaps bigger than that, though, was the tournament in the Dominican Republic down in Punta Cana. And the reason why is that these are golfers who are trying to create status for themselves for the next 2 years through the year 2027. So most of these guys playing in Dominican Republic and PGA Tour event at Punta Cana needed this kind of win to solidify their careers for the next 2.5 years. This guarantees them a win, guarantees them a chance at the PGA next month. It gives them a chance at Wailea. It gives them a chance in the TPC next year. And it gives them an exemption through 27. And if they have status, an extra year through 28. That's how important it was. And Joel Damon is a golfer who kind of just wanders around, right? He gets sponsors exemptions. He has very little status, but he plays from time to time. He had a 3-stroke lead with literally 3 holes to play. Now, it was very windy, and it was
He bogeyed all 3 of them, didn't he?
He bogeyed all 3 of them, and he missed a putt, QB, maybe from this far. From this far.
Been there, done that.
Gave him a bogey, I think it was the 17th hole, that caused him to be tied going into the last hole. And he overshot the green on the last hole, did not get up and down, ended up bogeying that hole, went from 16 to 13 in 3 holes, allowing Garrett Higo, whose last tournament win was in 2021, who was just looking for some sort of status as a 25-year-old, and now is guaranteed his tour card through the year 2027 and will be at the PGA next month. And Joel Damon is sitting there wondering how he could miss a putt from this far. I bet you that man didn't sleep last night, knowing that he had this tournament in his back pocket. All he needed were pars, and he could not par the last 3 holes, and he lost the dang tournament. And he was on that series on Netflix called Full Swing, I believe it was, and he was one of the featured guys. And this would have guaranteed him the job through 2027, and it is heartbreaking to see happen. It's just so hard to watch. I saw this man literally burn down, and he could have solidified his job status for the next 2.5 years. So sad.
Yeah. QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief, no surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule a free consultation at QC Kinetics. We got JC. We'll have Frank Frangie. Second part of today's show. We got a lot of people that chimed in about baseball. Gators have 4 series left: 2 at home, 2 on the road. Archie and Bama are at home. We go to Carolina and Texas. Most people think we need to go 7-5 to get into postseason play. Obviously, a lot of it will determine how many games you win at the SEC tournament. But if we go 7-5, we get into postseason play. It's gonna be hard.
Very hard. Very hard.
I don't know how good Carolina is this year.
They're bad.
Alabama.
Carolina is the second worst record in the SEC. They are 4-14.
That's so hard. Like Mississippi State's bad too, right?
6-12, just like
it's hard to believe. Think about in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I know.
Or longer than that. Carolina baseball program in Mississippi State.
They were the cream of the crop.
I mean, we're right there with them. I mean, our schedule's
Florida,
not great, so it's hard to believe where these teams are. But
listen, I mean, it's going to come down as far as I'm concerned. Postseason is all you try to do, right? You just want to get in. Ole Miss proved that as the last team to get into the postseason and won the World Series a couple years ago. The thing is that when you've got Arkansas and Texas on your schedule left, and even Alabama at 9-9, these are three teams that are just very difficult. And the Gators winning 7 games in those last 12 games, to me, I'm going to bet the under. I'm afraid so. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't see it. I don't see it, but I could be wrong. Hope I am. I don't like the pitching this team has. I said it 2 weeks ago, QB. I'm not a big fan of the pitching. The pitching is just not there this year. It's just, I wish it was, but it's just not. I watch enough baseball. It's not there.
Josh says on the Titan Mart text line, JC, I see you have a St. Augustine hoodie on. Just got back Friday from a few-day work trip there. Beautiful area. Hope I get back to St. George Street is nice.
Oh, it's just so fun. Who just said that?
JC's this is Josh in Mississippi. JC's one of those guys. Those travel centers when you cross state line.
This was $18, and
JC loves to go in there and buy these sweatshirts.
Would you like to see some magnets on the
magnets?
I got magnets. I got sweatshirts. I got these cheap ass hats. I collect. It's just so fun. You know, I love St. Augustine. Obviously, St. Johns County, what's the greatest county in the state of Florida, or one of them. And this is the most comfortable sweatshirt I own, and it was $19 in the walkway there, taking you to the rendezvous where you buy all the imported beer and you sit in a beautiful little restaurant. St. George Street clearly is one of the greatest places in the state of Florida. If you haven't been, make sure you go. It's very crowded though. You can't be like QB and run from crowds. You have to kind of mix in there, and you have to battle a little bit. But it's fun, and it's just culture. It's culture. It's America. It's unbelievable. St. Augustine. It's one of the greatest cities in Florida, the oldest city in America.
Yeah. We got a question from JLB on YouTube brought by White Plum. Shane and JC, what do you think the positions of need are for the Gators in the portal? How long is it? I assume I don't know if he's talking about basketball or football.
Football. He's talking about football. Yeah,
I think football. I really like our roster. Let's be honest.
I love the running back room right now.
I like our running backs and our wide receivers. But I think, now at this time of the year, being so close to you go to fall camp, it's kind of like, in the NFL, best available or anybody that can help your roster. But it's so different. People keep talking about how college football is like the NFL now. It's not, because when you go select somebody Thursday, Friday, Saturday of this draft, these guys ain't got an option. They're going to play for Team X that drafts them. Yeah. Whereas a kid sits in the portal, JC sitting in the portal, waiting for a good offer from Florida, or he may get a better offer from Oklahoma. He'll sit there with his representatives and wait till he gets the money he wants. So it
didn't work out that way for Nico. He took what he was given because that's all he had left to take.
Yeah, but the whole Nico thing here again. Nico was throwing a lot of money out of high school. He's the one that started this nonsense. $8 million for his deal. Okay. Here's the problem with Nico. You did not perform, my friend.
He's not that good.
I had this conversation with some folks at the golf course this weekend.
Yes.
Because they asked, how much money do you think you would have made? I don't know. I mean, we're talking 30-something years ago. I said, but the difference between myself, Danny, Tebow, let's just use, and Rex.
Yeah.
We all played well at a young age and then had multiple years after that, right?
Yeah. It is.
I mean, I started for 3 years.
Yeah.
Danny was 4 years. Tebow 3 or 4 years. So if Nico would have lit it up last year, okay, you're worth that money. And now you can go back to the bargaining table. But you ain't worth a damn because you are not very good, son.
Period. It was just unfathomable to me that somebody would offer $8 million to an unproven talent like that.
Yeah, it blows my mind.
It's unfathomable. It doesn't register in my brain how I know how tight people can be with their money and how loose they were with this kid. And listen, he is what he is. You can't get angry at him. You have to admire the fact that he was even offered that, or you can just be amazed by it at the stupidity of it all. But he cut his nose off to spite his face, leaving Tennessee to go to UCLA. Now, maybe it's easier for him out there, but he's getting less money. And he tried to play hardball with these people thinking he had leverage. So what advisor told Nika Iamaleava that you have leverage to get $4 million like Carson Beck did? At least Carson Beck performed at times and was a very, 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 productive. But
he had multiple years of starting as well.
Right. And he was productive at least, because that's why he had multiple years of starting, because he was productive. Nico Iamaleava hadn't done anything. Nothing. He can't throw a 50-yard pass to save his life accurately. So I think
you can go at 85 yards if you want to throw it real far, JC.
Well, that's great.
31 M Burst says on YouTube, brought to you by Quag Plum. I hate to see Aberdeen go, but the inconvenient truth is if he's your point guard, the team isn't going very far. If people miss it, Denzel Aberdeen is in the portal. I don't know if it's a money issue, if he wants playing time. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. I'm not getting any comments today from Facebook. So,
well, what do you think about Denzel? I mean, he really came.
I mean, he came off the bench and did his job.
He came through.
It's easy to say by what he did coming off the bench, can he do that as a starter for 30-something games? Maybe he can, maybe he can't. But look, I'm not going to sit here and question Ty Golden and his staff when it comes to a talent evaluation.
Right.
I'm sure Denzel did not like the offer that was given to him, and I think that's what it is now today, people.
Yeah.
It's what kind of money are we going to pay?
Yeah.
And he thinks he can get it somewhere else. And if he does, good for him.
I guess he figures if he's going to jump, he might as well do it now because of what just happened. But during his season and the fact that he was given the opportunity to play, and he came through for the most part. He really did. I'll never forget the Auburn game, and he filled in for Elijah Martin, how well he played.
Yeah. Dan says on YouTube, brought to you by Quad Plum, he heard that Aberdeen wanted over $1 million. So I don't know what kind of dollars we have set for basketball. I mean, look, our 3 guards got paid a lot of money this year.
Yeah. Well, and that gave Florida the realistic chance to win a national title. So
yeah, we got a text here from Frank on the Take No More text line.
They did.
It's a picture here of DJ taking the offensive lineman to Spurrier's. Good for DJ. DJ's got a lot of money. Might as well spend it on the guys that protect him.
I guess that, to go back to JLB's question, that might be an area where I would like to see depth, and that's the offensive line. I mean, you can never have enough, right? So maybe that's an area. Of course, I always worry about the defense like you do, QB, and so that's an area. But as far as where I'm really excited, it's the running back room, and like you said, the wide receivers room, and even tight ends. I think they're going to be fine right there. But the offensive line has to be, healthy, and hopefully that's maybe an area where they can add some depth.
Yeah. This Day in Sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. Where did it go? Here it is right here. JC, listen to this. In 2001 NFL draft, quarterback went first to the Atlanta Falcons. Do you know who it was?
In the what year, Joe? Sorry.
2001.
Oh, good God.
Atlanta Falcons take the first pick, and they take this quarterback. Out of one of your favorite schools that you like to call something else.
I'm sure it'll snap right in when you mention it, but I can't.
He wore number 7.
Michael Vick.
Yes. Where did he go to college?
He was a Hokie at VPI. And that stands for Virginia Polytechnic Institute. And I know this because my dad got his PhD from Virginia Tech. Yeah. And I lived in Blacksburg when I was young.
And also, he is now the head football coach of Norfolk State.
Yeah, good for him. Fun fact about Virginia Tech. What other school than Virginia Tech has never won a national championship in any sport?
Oh, that's like I know
there's only 2.
It's like Kansas State or Iowa State.
You got it. That's right. You got it. Virginia Tech and K-State are the 2. Mississippi State was in there until they knocked off they got the College World Series. That is just amazing to me. Virginia Tech. I mean, there's a lot of athletes in Richmond, man. I mean, there's a lot of athletes in Richmond, but they've never won anything.
Electronics World Integration and Design Specialist for smart home automation and entertainment, affordable local installation service and support. Go check them out, electronicsworld.net. A few more minutes here with JC, then we're going to get to Frank
Frangie.
All right, JC, so we're going to do, you got some Peachland Dental locks for our listeners?
Just set me up.
We're setting you up. NBA. By the way, I'm pretty sure I heard this correctly. Didn't you take the Pistons too?
In the series. The series. And listen, 0-3. And I think I took the Clippers. So 0-4 out of the NBA so far in game one of the series. I think we're going to see the Milwaukee Bucks bounce back tonight. I don't know if
they don't play tonight.
Well, I'm sorry, tomorrow.
I'm looking right here. You got tonight, the Pistons and the Knicks at 7:30, and you got the Clippers and the Nuggets.
All right, here we go. How about a money line parlay on the Knicks and the Clippers tonight? Although Detroit had New York down 5 in the fourth quarter until the Knicks went on a crazy fourth quarter run, I think the Pistons can still push this to 6 games. I'm counting on that. And the Clippers, they led the entire game against Denver until late. I think the Clippers can still win a game in Denver. So I'm taking the Clippers and the Knicks tonight. Moneyline parlay, that would pay you, that would get you a cool $15 if you bet 10. So that's plus 155 if you did that parlay. In terms of hockey, the NHL, tonight we've got a bunch of games. We've got 4 games. So Winnipeg won its first game against the Blues. The Washington Caps of Montreal start their series tonight. Colorado is clearly going to have the advantage over Dallas with all the injuries. So I'll take Colorado tonight. And I think the LA Kings get it done at home on home ice. Best team on home ice in the NHL. They play the Oilers, who are also a banged-up team. So let's take the Kings and the Avs tonight. I love the Jets of Winnipeg, but St. Louis is probably going to get this one. I don't know. I think Washington beats Montreal in 6 games myself.
Okay, before we get you out of here, I pulled up on my phone the Facebook Live comments brought to you by Meldon Law. Mark says, what do y'all think of Tennessee offering the TCU QB $1 million more, but he declined coming to Tennessee? Who is the quarterback at TCU?
Who the hell knows? And why would you decline going to Tennessee? Explain that. You out of your mind? You going from Amon Carter Stadium playing in front of 40,000 fans to General Neyland playing in front of 108,000 and you turning them down? I'm telling you, dude, these kids get such bad advice these days. They need to call me. I need to put their money away for them. That's the first thing. The second thing is they need to call you and say, where the hell should I play football? Look at what I can do and give me an idea. Because
they see a lot of these guys I don't think are very good. I'd be telling them just stay put.
Well, how does Tennessee, though, get turned down by a guy from TCU who we don't
I don't even know who the TCU quarterback is.
Right. That's what I'm saying. How do you
Gator Mac just told me here on YouTube it's Josh Hoover is the guy from TCU. Never heard of him.
Again, you're going from playing in Fort Worth in the middle of the day in a Big 12 game to Knoxville.
All right, JC. We're going.
Frank Frangie's going to tell us where the Jags are playing. It's going to be Orlando in 27, and then in 28 we're going to have the best stadium in football.
All right, that's JC joining us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Town. Quick timeout. Come back. We'll talk a little Jaguars with Frank Frangie.
I love Frank.
Listening to PodUp. Well, Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
All right.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union,
International Diamond Center,
Meldon Law, QC Kinetics, Dave & Buster's, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, JF Hayden Craft Liqueurs, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Los Linderos Tequila. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sporting Goods, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteak, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Sign, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Okido America, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Nest and Wow, MG&A Wealth Management. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Unleash the Inferno.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football.
Let's go.
We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand.
We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers,
And go Gators.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. There are many car washes in Gainesville, but only one Gallo Car Wash, locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street and Southwest Wilson Road, and coming soon to Jonesville. Back to the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Town. That's our man. It's the voice of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Frank Frangie. Good morning, Frank. How you doing, bud?
Morning, Shane. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. How's everything in Gainesville?
It's good. Frank, let's start before we talk a little Jags. People may or may not know this. Frank is a Florida graduate, covered the Gators for a long, long time. Frank, I'm excited. We got some dudes this year, man, in football. We got some dudes that can go.
Listen, I was in San Antonio for 3 days. Here's the deal. I didn't go as a media guy. I went as a fan, Shane. So the truth is I don't drink all that much anymore, and I don't yell all that much anymore. And I did both for about 3 days in San Antonio. So I'm in a good place too, and I agree with you. I think the football team, I think, to your point, finally has a roster like the good teams. Now we'll see if they can coach to it and play to it. But the good teams, Alabama and Ohio State and Georgia, have different kind of rosters. Florida looks like they finally got a roster that looks like that. So I'm excited. I'm like you are.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I did follow you on Twitter because I knew you went out to the Final Four, and I'm pretty sure you covered the Gators as a media guy for the other national championships in basketball and football. But this was the first time you actually got to go as a fan. How was it?
It was fantastic. I've been to every Final Four game they've ever played, starting with Lon Kruger's bunch in 1994. I've been to every championship football game. The Florida's played for the national title 8 times. They're 3-1 in national title football games and 3-1 in national title basketball games. I've been to all 8 of them. It's the first time as a fan. What was I missing, Shane? I got it wrong those first 7 times. So we had a bunch of buddies out there, a bunch of old Gators like me, and we had a big day. It was really good. And I will say this. Boy, Gator Nation really responded. This team really connected with them. There had to be 30,000 of them in the Alamo Dome that night and on the Riverwalk at 2:30 in the morning when that river cruise came through. So it was a blast, and I really applaud not just how good the team was, but look, they were underdogs. They weren't a bunch of trash talkers. They weren't a bunch of top 100 guys. They were just regular guys that went and won a title. So, and I think that's how they are, why they connected so well with Gator Nation. It was a great run. It was fun to be out there. It really was.
Yep. Well, the Jags crank up the draft Thursday night. Who do you think they're going to take?
I've only been asked that 700 times. I've said Mason Graham all along. They need a defensive tackle, and they need a guy like that, Shane, more of a zero, a shade, a 2-gap guy. They've got some 3 techniques, but they need a big guy in the middle. So I've thought that all along. But I will tell you this, Ashton Jeanty stuff is getting some traction. Nobody knows. They're not showing their hand, nor should they. But I'd be shocked if it's not one of those 2. There's some other guys they like. But I would think Mason Graham, if Jeanty's gone, if the Patriots, the top 3, Ward, Hunter, and Carter are going to be the first 3 picks. I don't think anybody debates that. That's when the draft starts. If the Patriots take Ashton Jeanty, I think the Jags are going to take Mason Graham. If the Patriots take Will Campbell, the offensive lineman, or somebody else, or if Shedeur Sanders moves up and they trade up, whatever, and Jeanty's there, then, man, then it gets interesting. Because then it's either the running back Jeanty or the defensive tackle Graham, I think, unless they've got a surprise in mind for us. So my guess is it's one of those 2 guys.
When you look at this Jags roster, obviously disappointing. Got a new coaching change. I want to get your thoughts on Liam Cohen. I think we had you on when they hired him, but I can't remember your thoughts on him. We know he can call ball plays, but what in your, I mean, you watch them practice, you call their games. What's the biggest area of this team they need to make improvement on?
Shane, they weren't very physical. And you can pitch it and catch it, and you can do all the things that you and I love talking about and watching. But if you're not physical at the line of scrimmage, you know what? You're not going to win. You and I've had this talk 1,000 times, man. If freaking that offensive line in front of you isn't protecting you, as good a quarterback as you were, you wouldn't have gotten any balls off, right? Eric Rhett wouldn't have run for all those yards, and we've talked about that forever. Boy, they weren't very good at the line of scrimmage, particularly the interior. The two pass rushers are pretty good, Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker, but their tackles didn't play well at all, none of them. Offensively, the tackles were okay, but guard, center, guard, they weren't very good. And when you're not good at the line of scrimmage, it's still football, man, and they've got to get better there. They signed 10 free agents, right? 4 of them, Shane, were offensive linemen. 40% of their free agent class were offensive linemen. They've got to get better at the offensive line. I think that cost Doug Peterson his job, probably cost the GM his job as well. So there's other things that they need help, and they need a corner. They need another receiver to go with Brian Thomas Jr. They need a safety. Look, when you've lost 18 of your last 23 games, it's not coaching. It's not just coaching. The roster's got a problem. But I think it starts with the trenches. They got to get better there.
Yeah, Liam Cohen comes in, offensive-minded guy. He's been in that West Coast with Sean McVay, that whole crew. Did a really good job with Baker Mayfield down in Tampa. The text here from Jimmy on the Titan Mart text line wants to know, how do you think Trevor's going to fit into his system?
Well, I like the system, and Trevor likes the system. Baker Mayfield raves about it. It's a run-first system. It's a system where they want to run the ball, but they can throw it all over the place. That's the balance you want. The guy's a really good play caller. He's smart. He understands football. Now, he's never been a leader before as far as leading the whole operation, so we'll see how he does. But I like him. I've gotten to know him pretty well. Shane, he's a regular guy. He's a golfer. He's a good family guy. He's a guy you would connect with. I really like him. I like what I see. And I was very close to Doug Peterson. Doug and I had lunch a couple weeks ago up here in Jacksonville when he came up for a couple days. So I like Doug. But I think he's a young guy, Cohen. I think he's going to connect with players. I do think culture matters. I think alignment. You hear the word alignment and collaboration all the time, and they sound like cliches. But I think my friend Tony Baselli being in there as the EVP, overseeing a lot of it. Liam is the coach. James Gladstone, a very young but bright general manager. I do think they're all pulling in the same direction. And I do think that matters, man. I really do. I think it matters. You got a bunch of hands in the pie otherwise. And so I like where they are. Now we'll see. Talk's easy. We'll see what happens when they play. But I like what I think they've assembled. But they got some work to do, man. They got to build that roster. It's not an overnight fix. It really isn't.
Somebody asked a couple of weeks ago when Kyle Trask re-signed with the Buccaneers, were there any talks of him possibly? Because Frank, let's be honest, when you're going to be a backup in the pros, and that's probably what Kyle's going to be, and there's nothing wrong with it. I did that my entire life. You kind of get attached to a coordinator when that guy kind of moves around. Were there any talks of Trask possibly following Liam Cohen to the Jags, or with them having Mac Jones, I think, still under contract? That was not even a conversation.
Yeah, Mac Jones is gone. They re-signed Nick Mullins, who's been sort of a journey guy who'd been in San Francisco. So he'll be their backup now. Mac's not here anymore. I heard talk in the periphery about that, Shane. I never heard that it got any traction. I think Kyle's happy being the backup in Tampa, the backup to Baker. I think Trevor's going to be the quarterback here. I never heard any talk inside about bringing Kyle. You heard it a lot outside, but I never heard. I think Mullins is the guy they had targeted, and I think he's played a little bit. He's had to play some games, and I think that helps. I think it helped you. The backups that's played a little bit, I think helps. Kyle hadn't played very much, so I didn't hear and I love Kyle Trask. I'm a big Kyle fan. But I think Nick Mullins is going to be the backup, and I didn't hear anything to the contrary. So my guess is that's where they always were kind of headed. I am back to the question that your poster asked. I think Trevor will do well. Listen, quarterbacks are at their best in this league, Shane, year 5 through 10. It takes a while to learn the offenses. It takes a while to understand the speed of the NFL. Most of these quarterbacks, Josh Allen wasn't nearly as good in year 1 as he was in year 5. Patrick Mahomes was good early, but most of it takes time, and they get better as their careers grow. Trevor's going into year 5. He's been in a couple different offenses now. He's already connected, I can tell you, with Spencer Whipple, the quarterback coach. He's already connected with Grant Udinsky, the coordinator, who's a young guy too. It's a bunch of young guys working together. So the connection's been good. Trevor looks like he's healthy now. The shoulder surgery is about behind him. I think he's going to have a good year.
Peachland Dentistry, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Go check them out at peachlanddental.com. We got Frank Frangie, the voice of the Jags. Also, you can listen to Frank on 1010XL on the Frank Frangie Show weekly. You're losing your partner, Tony Baselli. He's been with you for a long time up there. What is actually Tony's role? I know what his title is and all that, but what is his role with the Jags? And what's it going to be like without having him in the press box?
First things first, great question. And because people want, what does EVP mean? What's happened, there's so much in a football organization. Shane, you know this. Tony is over everything but coaching and finding players. Everything from travel, nutrition, strength program, PR, analytics, all of that will report to him. That he is in charge of everything. James Gladstone, the general manager, is in charge of going and finding players, which means he hires the scouts and they make the decision on draft day. Liam Cohen is in charge of coaching the players, which means he builds his staff and they coach them. Tony's got everything else. In the past here, the general manager's been over all of that. Well, the GM doesn't need to be worried about whether or not you got the right plane chartered, or whether or not you got the right strength coach, or whether or not you have the right nutritionist, or whether or not the PR is doing their job. They needed someone to oversee that. And Tony's a smart football guy, and that's his job. Tony, James Gladstone, and Liam Cohen will all report to Shad Khan individually, but they all work in concert with each other. So Tony's job is to be over everything football, other than finding players and coaching players. And he's already started to make a difference. I'm in that building a lot. You can see the difference he's made. Being without him, yeah, he's been with. This will be my 12th year calling Jags games. He's been in that booth. He and Jeff Logman and I have been in that booth together for 11 years. So it'll be weird without that big goofball being up there with us, I can tell you. But he's one of the best people I know. He's one of the smartest people I know. He's a really good broadcaster, so we're going to miss him. But right now, we're trying to decide. We may add a third, and it'll be Jeff and me and one other, or it may just be a two-man booth, which is more conventional, where we had 2 or 3 conversations even last week about that. So we'll make that decision within the next month or so, Shane, I think.
The latest on the stadium. Tell us what's going on there. And I don't know if they've determined if they're going to play in Gainesville or Orlando, but I don't know how in the world they'd be able to play in Gainesville, because I just don't think the locker rooms, the sidelines, and all that meet the NFL requirements. What's going on there?
Well, I think you hit it. First of all, they're going to play as normal in the stadium this year. All right, that's the last year it'll be normal. In 26, they're going to play in half a stadium. They're going to be doing a lot of construction, but they're not leaving the stadium. Capacity is going to be 43,000. Right now, it's mid-60s, 65 or so. So it's going to be capacity 43,000. It's going to be a smaller stadium that's under construction, but they're going to play the 26 season here. The 27 season, they're going to go to Orlando or Gainesville for their home games. And then 28, they're going to open this state-of-the-art stadium, which I'm telling you, Shane, is going to be a pretty amazing building. It really is. I'm with you. I think it's going to be Orlando. No one's announced that yet, but you hit the 2 big things. Visitor locker room. It would take millions to get that up to NFL standards. And the NFL really likes to drive those TV trucks behind, I say trucks, they look more like little trailers behind the benches, and you can't do that in Gainesville. And now I don't know that's the only concern. Florida wants it. Orlando wants it. Gainesville and Orlando want it. The advantage of Gainesville is they know how to do it. They do it 7 times a year. They've got concessionaires and security, and they do the drill every Saturday so they can do it on Sunday. But I agree with you. I think it's ultimately going to land in Orlando. Orlando Stadium is being renovated. It's not perfect, but it's got a lot of the NFL parameters that you would have to have. So my guess is it lands in Orlando. And my guess is you'll see that announcement sometime I would think before this football season.
Yeah. Here's a Gator text for you on the Titan Amar text line from Robert. Robert wants to know, Frank, what's your prediction of the Gators' record this upcoming season?
I got to tell you, Robert, I think they're going to be good. Now, look, it's another brutal schedule. The schedule, they got to get out of this rotation, man. And they get this SEC rotation while playing Miami every year. So, and FSU will be improved. So it's a brutal schedule. But I think they're going to be pretty good. So I'll tell you this. Lagway's got to take the next step. And Shane, you know this better than anybody. I think he's going to be fantastic. I think he's got great football sense. He's a big, strong guy. He's hard as heck to sack. He's a strong arm guy. But he still threw 12 touchdowns and 9 picks last year. Well, that number's got to be 24 touchdowns and 7 picks at the very least. So you got to take that next step as a passer. And that means Billy's got to take the next step. And the passing game's got to take the next step. And a lot of new receivers, talented, obviously, but new receivers have to step up. But if they can take the step in the passing game, I love their offensive line like everybody does. I love those 2 backs and even the back, Katie Daniels, we haven't even seen yet. The defense seems to have dudes. I'd feel better with one more defensive tackle. I like their edge guys and their linebackers. I'm concerned maybe a little bit about defensive tackle. Lyons comes back. Burrow's okay. Obviously, Caleb Banks is a good player. But I think I like their roster. They got a good kicker. They brought in a punter in the portal. I like their team. I would be surprised if they don't win 9 games. If it was a more normal schedule, I would say 10 games. So put me down for 9-3 in the regular season. What did you say? Have you gone yet?
Well, I said before last year we'd win 8 games. We did with the bowl game, but I kind of tried to get away from the prediction game. I like this team. You talked about people talk about the schedule being hard.
Yeah,
it is, but majority of these teams we're playing, Frank, have new quarterbacks.
Right, that's right.
And to me, that's huge. But I think if everybody can stay healthy, and if DJ can be healthy, I still have a lot of concerns about that.
Right.
If we can make teams play us man coverage, which we want to run the football, by running the football effectively, that makes people have to put other people in the box, and you have to play man.
Right.
He destroys man coverage. He has trouble against zone. Yeah. And so we'll see. But I think the Gators, in my opinion, we should be in the conversation at the beginning of November about making the 12-team playoff. I really think we can be that kind of team.
Yeah, I would agree. And one quick thing, most quarterbacks, the big jump they take in being able to read zone defenses and throw receivers open and have option routes is that between first and second year as a starter. I watched Chris Leak do it. I've watched others do it. So I'll bet you DJ takes that step, Shane. Yeah. He does, and I'll bet he will.
Sure hope so. All right, before we get you out of here, Frank, obviously I see your polo there, walk-off charities. I know baseball's high school season is in the playoffs now, but tell people a little bit about your walk-off charities, your little travel team that you have. I guess that'll happen in the summertime.
Yeah, we've got walk-off charities. We're in our 8th year. We've put 10,000 kids through. It's a charity. Hey, Shane, as you know, because by the way, Shane, you got me the shirts. As you know, we're trying to help underserved kids play baseball. Baseball's dead in the inner city. I say the numbers all the time. I've said it on your show a bunch. When I'm growing up, 27% of Major League Baseball players are African-American men, not Dominican, not Puerto Rican, African-American men, black men born in America. Right now, that number is 6. Baseball's left the inner city. So we've got we have 77 teams now playing in our rec league. 77, Shane, 77 teams. All over Jacksonville, so all kids get a chance to play baseball. We've put together a scout team, which is a travel team now. This will be our 3rd year. I told you this before. The first time we played 2 years ago, played down in Fort Myers. The first tournament we played, the opposing team, the top 3 in the batting order were Florida commit, Miami commit, LSU commit. And we got our doors blown off. But now they've played a little bit better, and they're playing better, and it's I'm very proud of it, Shane. We have now a facility we play out of. The kids are happy. We have more kids than ever. We got 3 kids on scholarship now. How about that? We've got 3 kids playing scholarship baseball, and we hope to grow that. So we're helping kids in the inner city, and people like you and our sports and so many others in town here have been real helpful in that. So we're proud of it. We're proud of where it's going. It's golf season now, Shane. I got to get down there and play golf with you. So this comes a little lighter time of year, but we're having a good time here.
Awesome. Before we let you go, Frank, obviously, let everybody know how they can listen to your show daily in Jacksonville, but you're also going to do a draft preview show or a show on draft night, I guess.
You are. Let me tell you the good thing about draft shows, Shane. I'm on at 7. I don't do my show that day, so I can play golf during the day. Okay. Give me 20 seconds to lament my golf game to you, because I want to do this. I know you care about this. So I'm playing Saturday with my buddies, right? My Saturday group. You have a Saturday group, right?
Absolutely.
I get to 9, 1 under. So I'm playing.
Oh,
okay.
Whoa.
Double number 9, so I shoot 37, right? So, but it's a good side. Par 10, okay? So now I got 8 holes left. That's the math, Shane. I'm down to 8 holes, okay? I'm 1 over, have not made a bogey all day. I'm 1 over through 10 this Saturday. I proceeded to bogey 8 straight holes and shoot 81. So that's my life, Shane. Okay. So just so you know that's what a clutch performer I am. I made 8 straight bogeys and shot 81. So I'm kind of pissy today. Every one of these you're pissy about your golf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hate golf. So I kind of hate golf right now. So, but no, we're very excited about Walk Off. Our draft show is 7 to 9. You can hear it on all the network stations. That's the one. It'll just be Loggeman and me. We'll have John Dozier stop by. Brian Sexton's live in Green Bay. JP Shadrick comes by. We're going to drag Baselli in for one segment, whether he likes it or not. Liam Cohen and James Gladstone are both going to join us after the pick. The pick's also going to be on with us, so it'll be a fun draft show. All the stations that carry Jaguar football should have that from 7 to 10 on Thursday night.
Awesome. Frank, appreciate your time. That's good. I mean, that had to be like a record. I mean, one of your best scores through 9 holes, right?
Yeah, it would have been. I've never shot 35. You know, you probably shoot it every week. I've never shot 35, but yeah, I was convinced I was going to shoot 72 and then buy everybody drinks and all that stuff. And none of it happened. We need to go play. I'm going to come down to Gainesville and play in your group. What do you have, like 10-some or 8-some or whatever you guys play? I'm going to come.
No. We were at the UF course, so you have to play foursomes, but we'll have anywhere between 15 and 20 guys that can golf their ball from 24 years old to 82 years old. So it's fun.
Well, I'll come join you one time. Hey, thanks for having me on, Shane. Good to talk.
Thank you, Frank. That's Frank Frangie. Join us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Town. Injuries occur whenever and however, and it's never convenient for sprains, strains, and minor fractures. UF Health Orthocare makes it convenient for you 7 days a week, including evenings. Walk-ins are welcome. That's UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Appreciate everybody chiming in. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Take care.